My name is Anna Marie Bowers. I'm a certified Trager practitioner. I practice in Burton, Ohio. I've been practicing since 1983. I was looking for alternative health care as a result of some of my own health problems, and I ended up in a demonstration about the Trager Approach. And I was moved by both the demonstration, what I saw this woman doing with this really muscular football player, and I was moved by the principles of the work, that everyone is okay, who they are, how they are, and that all the Trager Approach does is offer them an opportunity to feel differently, to experience a different kind of feeling. So I went up to talk to this person who was doing the demonstration afterwards, and she said, "You should just come for the training tomorrow. There's one opening left in the class." I said, "Well, I can't do that. I got other things to do." And a series of arguments back and forth, I ended up at the training the next day. So after 6 days of the training, during which time you're getting sessions as well as learning the work, all of my symptoms went away. So I was pretty impressed and pretty intrigued about this work, and I've just been practicing ever since. I've got a BS in psychology, and got 3 adult children who grew up experiencing the Trager Approach, sometimes having to go along with me to out appointments. And I remember my little ones sitting under the table while I'm working, coloring, or playing in the other room while I was doing a session in an office that had 2 rooms. I've studied a little bit of mindfulness, nonviolent communication, practiced transcendental meditation for a number of years, yoga. All of these things really fascinate me. The whole mind-body connection fascinates me, and it's what drew me to Trager in the first place. 1983, I was actually certified, and so I've been practicing Trager part-time, raising my children and having a lot of other family obligations. And now the children are grown and gone, and I'm interested in expanding my practice, and that's why I'm doing this video. Trager sessions, typically. We do have, the United States Trager Association does have some materials, some books and some cards that are daily body reminder cards of things that you can do to kind of keep that relaxed feeling. So those things are available as products, but typically I offer a session. A session takes about an hour, and we're working on a softly padded table similar to a massage table. So part of the work is done with the client, and they're clothed like you would be doing a workout. So they're comfortable, it's quiet, it's a softly padded table. We're doing full range motion of all of the joints that's not painful. So we're working just under the in the pain-free zone for the person, okay? And we're working with the belly of the muscle. We're setting up a wave or a vibration with the whole muscle, so that as this section of the muscle relaxes, so do its connections in the elbow and the shoulder, and pretty soon the back and the neck. And when they get up off of the table, they have a different sense of how they feel, how their body feels, because they've experienced something that's a little bit different than their day-to-day movement. The second part of Trager is the mentastics, or the movement exercises or sequences that we give people to do to keep that feeling themselves. It's a word that Milton Trager invented, mental gymnastics, and it's basically the movement of a body part with a mental connection to the weight of that part. So for instance, if I'm just lifting my hand and feeling the weight of my hand and then dropping it. So you're lifting up, feeling the weight, and then surrendering it to gravity. And as you do that, this area starts to just relax. So Trager is a really beneficial way of experiencing passive relaxation as well as full range of pain-free motion. Living Well Massotherapy, which is where I'm practicing currently, is an integrative health facility. They have massage therapists, an aculaser person, naturopaths, and Trager seemed like a logical addition to their practice. And so I've added my piece. Mostly through referrals from clients. and some advertising, some promotional videos, some radio spots, but mostly through referrals of clients or referrals from other practitioners, and sometimes referrals from physicians or psychotherapists, because sometimes they're working with issues that involve restriction of movement as a result of an emotional response, not necessarily a physical response. And so with Trager, you're dealing with physical patterns, but the mind and the body work together. So as you go through life, you're responding in your body to what's going on inside of you as well as what's happening to the outside of you. And so sometimes work with people with depression or body image issues. Sometimes Trager has been really helpful to work in conjunction with the therapist. The things that excite me the most are the man who walks in with a cane because he can't really feel the bottom of his feet. And we work really a long time on increasing awareness of the bottoms of the feet. And we do a lot of mentastic standing and shifting weight and things like that. And when he comes for the second session, 2 weeks later, he walks down the hallway with no cane. Those are exciting things that happen. I've also worked with people who have had brain injuries and partial paralysis, and seeing even just the tiniest little muscular response to working with somebody who's been partially paralyzed or has some other disability with being able to move easily. Seeing that result is exciting for me. Most difficult in the beginning, because as any new practitioner, any new person in any profession, you want to feel like you're good at what you do. So you want the client to be giving you that real positive feedback. And so it is difficult when you're first starting to trust your own self that you are able to deliver the opportunity to feel something different. There's nothing to fix, which is the beauty of Trager. There's nothing to fix. This person is perfectly fine. All we're doing is offering them an opportunity to feel a different way and see if they like that. If they like that, it builds a new pattern and gradually replaces an old pattern of restriction of movement. So in a way, it's a little bit easier than trying to fix something. Two things. Number one, I've had to learn how to use it. So that's been fun. And number two, I've had to work with clients who now have a lot of upper back, shoulder issues, and a lot of arm, hand, wrist, forearm issues from sitting in front of screens for long periods of time, or sitting in front of these kinds of screens, or doing these kinds of things. So I've had to learn how to work with those patterns in the body that are a little bit different than maybe patterns I saw when I was first practicing.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, their necks
and their heads,
like that.
And where your computer screen is. If your computer screen is too high, you don't think about it, but eventually your back is going to bother you. If your screen is too low, eventually your neck is going to bother you. It's because everything is connected. So what you're doing during the day is really going to impact how you feel at the end of the day and those patterns of restriction or ease. Anytime that you're in a touch profession, which is any kind of body work, even cosmetologists and anybody who touches anybody, you've always got ethical issues to deal with. And the thing that's really important is to be certified, to be licensed, take the courses, go through the training, learn how to set boundaries, how to establish a safe practice, do peer review. For me, that's the biggest thing. Do peer review. Someone else in your profession can work with you, you can talk about issues that have come up for you in your sessions, continue to get continuing education. So yes, those issues always come up. And people can be tactile defensive as well. So it's not just, from the practitioner's perspective. And you have to, how do I say this? You really have to cherish the opportunity to work with another human being in a tactile way. And when you can feel that way about working with that person and set up a safe environment, and you're constantly tuned into if they feel safe, then it's a good experience for that person. I do. I have, in the Trager Approach, you're required to get continuing education and tutorials every other year, every year for the first 10 years. And after 10 years, you're not required to do that. But I am continuing to do that because these are educational opportunities to work with a tutor, a Trager tutor who's been a practitioner for maybe longer than I have and who has experienced teaching someone how to become a practitioner. So peer review, tutorials, those kinds of things. And students, I mentor students in the area. My firm belief in the principles of this work. I really do believe, and the principles are simple, they sound almost too simple, and Milton Trager would say, yes, it can be that easy. And yes, it can be that simple. I mean, the principles are simple. How much does this weigh? How does it move? How else can it move? How can that be more fun? It sounds really simple, and it can be that simple. And the first time that I had a session and got up off of the table, I walked around for 3 days feeling my knees. Just feeling my knees, like, oh my God, I have knees. Well, of course you have knees, you know, but you don't notice, you know, these little things. And it changes your level of confidence in yourself when you present in the world. It changes so many things when you have that awareness of yourself. I'd say the same thing my mother told me when she was in her 50s. And she said, don't wait till you're 40 to pursue your passion. She was an artist, and I would say, don't wait, pursue your passion, and don't ask if you can do this. Ask how you can do this from where you are right now, whatever your circumstances. All right, Kim, is there anything that I need to know today?
No. Do your thing.
Okay. Let me know if anything makes you uncomfortable.
Okay.
Deep breath in, and just let it out when you're ready. Is that okay? And sometimes it's the farthest away from where I'm working that you see an effect. So just occasionally you can notice. Oh, that feel good? Okay. And let me know on this arm. Okay. Neck, okay? Is that less tender? And let it all the way out. And just give yourself a minute to notice how you're feeling, a few minutes to notice how you're feeling. And when you're ready to move, you can start to move and sit up when you're ready. Doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
I totally lost track of time, so I have no idea.
Oh.
You're good? So let's pretend we're dipping our hand into a bucket of water and just going to fling the water off your fingertips. Yes. And then just drop your arm. Feel the weight of that hand. And lift it up. And drop it. What you feel? Do you want to move the other one? So let's start by just dipping it in a bucket of water, and we're going to just fling off the water. Get an idea for what the weight of your hand is. And you can go fast or you can go slow. And then just drop it. And if you need to move your body or your legs or anything while you're doing this, go ahead. So let's just bring that hand up and really feel its weight, and then just drop it. And watch the shelf there. Maybe scooch one, scooch over. And again, up. And just drop it. So how are you doing?
I feel a lot better.
Good. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
One thing that's really important about Trager is that it is totally individualized for the person's body that the practitioner is working with. So the movements that I was doing with her today are the movements that her body can experience in a pain-free way. This is not the same movements that would be done with every single person. So it's totally individualized, and we can accommodate anybody's needs in terms of if they can't lay on their back or on their stomach, or they need to be sitting, or they need to have extra equipment. So that is another real good benefit of the Trager approach.